We'll wait for this music to finish because there's apparently two audio files coming through at the same time. I have no idea. Um, music is connected with the countdown intro, and for some reason, uh, it started playing a second one a minute or two in, and I can't shut this off. So we'll just let this finish. We'll get into the drawing in just a minute. Hopefully this finishes up. This is just going to be a short show tonight. Just a few announcements. Hopefully you can hear me over this annoying intro music. There we go. All right. There we go. Hi. That's really obnoxious. That's a couple of times that has done that. And I don't know, this has been disappointing me over and over again. The only reason I am going with Talk Studio, as I've said many times, is they are almost half the price of StreamYard, which everybody seems to rave about because StreamYard seems to advertise itself a lot more. And Streamlabs is connected, Talk Studio is connected with Streamlabs, which doesn't have the best reputation right now. So I'm going to clear this. I'm not going to make a long show tonight. I'm really tired. I'm not feeling the best, but I am basically doing this because I wanted to get in the habit of starting a regular Wednesday night show again. I'm in the middle of talking with a few artist friends of mine, and I want to get them as guests on a regular basis. So I'm going to start every Wednesday night having somebody come in. I was kind of hoping to have somebody tonight, and this week has just been kind of a little out of control. So we'll aim for next week. I'll talk to people and see who I can get lined up and when. We'll see how we'll see how it goes over the next few weeks. Let's see. I am also kind of working on my my Saturday show. That's going to be a bigger production. I've talked about this last week. I've talked about this weeks before that I've been questioning whether or not to actually kind of go through with it because it is such an unusual thing, and I don't know if it would actually catch on with most people. But I'll try it. I'll try and see how it goes. But I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do this. So I don't have anybody in here yet. I'm sure everybody will show up. Like the moment I say I'm ready to wrap things up is when everybody shows up. So we'll see who ends up coming in here and when. Of course, Jim Luhan decided to start a live, of course, so he's nabbed everybody over to his little show like just like half an hour ago, and I thought, oh, that's great timing, because let's face it, Jim's got more on the go. He's been on here longer. He's built more of a base for himself of people, so he's going to nab everybody over there. So hopefully people will watch this on the replay. I was actually hoping maybe Paul Pate might come in here for a bit. Mr. Paul Pate, where are you? He's over watching Jim's channel. So what can you do? Yeah, the Saturday show, I have a few things still to put together for that. I was going to mention something else about that. I had something in the back of my head I was going to mention about that, and I don't remember what it is. So I was actually going to kind of just go into a little bit of a drawing thing here. And is this good enough? I don't know. Don't know if I like this. That's too small. No. I think part of the problem is I wanted the just this pair area in here without all of this and my information. But I can't get a No, I don't want that way. Yeah, I think we'll just have to go with, I think we can go with this for now. I'm playing around here. I'm sorry, because I wanted something that's a little bit better, I guess. We just missed part of the bottom. I haven't been actually really too sure about what it was I was actually going to do as far as the Saturdays, because the idea I have is sort of an old format that's been around since the 70s. It was a format popular in the 70s, not so much anymore. But I thought it might be something just fun to do because it was very nostalgic and it brought back a lot of old memories. And when I was a kid, I thought, this is something I'd love to do. And now we have a platform that is free that we can do that on. And, but it's not what people would normally watch anymore, whether it's on television or on YouTube. So that just sort of leaves the fact that I'm just kind of doing it for, for my own sake, basically. And, but it can either, sometimes doing something unusual can either hurt or make a channel, and I'm hoping it doesn't hurt it. If it doesn't go over well, that's fine, which is why I'm hoping to have other aspects going on my channel at the same time. If it completely bombs, so be it. I'm not going to be too terribly upset. It is going to require a lot of work. And I'm not sure if it's something that I'm really ready to take on just yet, or just yet at all, because it is going to be such an amount of work. I think doing any YouTube channel is if you want to actually put some sort of production value into it, it always takes a lot of work. You can come on here and you can just chat with people. And you can get quite a following just doing that. You can get people who are interested in the same thing that you are. And, you can get them tuning into your live just to kind of listen to you talk and take an interest in what you're doing. And some of the people are really just kind of happy with that. And that's kind of a great thing. That's something I think that I think actually there's a place for that. And I know for a lot of people that can be very, very therapeutic, and it can be just something kind of fun for them to do. And I think, is that something I should just reconcile to doing? Because I wanted something a little bit more. If you look at who was Jim Luhan's guest? I can't think of his name. Not Joshua Campbell. The guy who makes the comics. I can't think of his name. Cirqueworks. I can't think of his name. I'm having a brain fart moment. I'm sorry. I know his name, and it's just gone from my head. But he has such a great channel going, and I know he kind of stopped what he was doing, but he had this whole set with his laboratory and the lab coat, and it was this fantastic thing that I thought was amazing. And he kind of decided to stop doing it to try something else a bit different, and I think right now he's feeling like that's not going over very well, even though he just kind of started back. So I don't know. That was always kind of the thing that I wanted to do. I was kind of envious of that when I saw it. I was like, wow, except his thing was comics, but I was going to do multiple things. I wanted to do art. I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of host a show. I didn't want to be just simply. Most people come on YouTube, I know, to kind of learn something, or they come on to be entertained or to learn something. And I was kind of hoping to aim for that kind of fine line between two of them, where you can come on and do something entertaining and kind of fun, and then also provide a bit of, I don't know, an art demo of some kind as well in the second half of the show. The first half was just going to be something fun, show some funny little video or movie clips, and then the second half would be the second half would be the actual this kind of thing, what I'm doing here. So yeah, I don't know. It's been a tough call for me on what I was going to do. The thick and thin is not going very well on this, and I don't know why. Let's see if I can. My pen is not. It's. Come on. Let's see what we can do here. I don't know what I'm doing. I saw this image of a drawing somebody did of a broom, and for some reason I just thought it was this entertaining little broom, and I started drawing. I did one on Procreate, and I don't know. I just thought somehow I had this idea of doing it here. It has a crooked top, but that's fine. It's an old wooden broom. So this has been a little bit of my dilemma in the last little while. I think the other problem too that I've run into, and I want to know, I'd love to find out from other artists. Do you find it hard to juggle your time around other people? I have a lot of friends, really wonderful people, and I'm the type of person that I try to be there for them because I know one day I'm going to need them too. And so I try to be there for people. And I've had a lot of people calling me this week on such a regular basis. Was it Monday or Tuesday? I was actually kind of angry by the end of the day because I realized I didn't have anything done. And like this. The issue, the problem, was that I kept, how do I put this? Oh, somebody's watching. I don't want them to get offended. I would literally get a call and somebody would talk to me on something. And I want to hear from my friends. I really do. Like, I like it when they call, and I like chatting with a lot of my friends. So I get a call and, they're going through, whatever, some personal things, etc. And that's fine. No one gets that more than I do. So you listen, and next thing you know, like an hour has gone by. And before I've even hung up, somebody else is trying to call through. This is exactly what happened. So, I say goodbye to the person, say, hey, I better go take this other call. And I answer it, and then somebody else comes on. It's another person with something else completely different. And we talk for another hour. Literally the same thing happens again. I'm on the phone, and there's things I still have to do too. Tuesday nights, and then I got to take the garbage out for the buildings. And literally another person phones through. And I'm like, listen, I got to call you back shortly. I got to go do this now, or I'm not going to get it done. So I talk to them. Another hour goes by. Literally, I hang up. 2 minutes. 2 minutes go by, and someone else calls again. And it's somebody else. Again, completely different person. These people don't even know each other. Just people that I've known over the years. And again, I find myself in this conversation that's like an hour and a half. So next thing I know, it's been almost 4 hours have gone by, just me on the phone talking with all these people. And my whole day is gone. And I feel like I have done nothing for myself because I've been busy being there for other people. And I've realized it's like I got to kind of make some time for myself. I have to turn my phone off. And I know people are going to try and reach me, and things are probably going to happen. I don't know. I'll hear from people later. I couldn't reach you. Why couldn't I reach you? I'm like, it seems to be this thing that if you're an artist, people seem to think you can just you have all the free time in the world. It's like, oh, he's not doing anything, or he can talk while he's drawing. He can do this. And I'm like, no, it's not always like that. So it's been really frustrating, and I can't be spending a day 6 hours on the phone with 4 or 5 different people all day. I need, I want to know what's going on. I really do. There's some people going through some serious stuff, and I don't mind being there for people, but man, like an hour and a half, I can't kind of keep doing that. So it's that's been kind of that was Tuesday, and that's why I'm not going to get anything done. I actually, the last guy that came on the phone, I was actually really angry at that point, and I was kind of mad, and I didn't mean to be mad at him, but just mad. It's like, I've got nothing done for myself, nothing. So this has to change somehow. So it's, oh, Terry's in there. Hey, hi Terry, how you doing? Well, you came in. This is just going to be a short one for tonight. I'm not feeling real great, but I'm just doing it because I wanted to. I wanted to make this as regular as possible and try and stay on a schedule. So that's kind of why I just kind of made myself do this tonight. So I'm hoping maybe if I'm lucky, starting next week, I might have start getting some guests in again. I've got some friends that I've known for years and years who are artists, and I wanted to. I've been wanting to kind of bring them in and just sort of interview them and talk to them, and they can share their work. So it's just getting all that lined up, all that timing all lined up. So, but yeah, tonight I'm just kind of winging it. And oh, that was not, did that on the wrong level. One moment, let's go to merge down. I'm going to merge these two layers. I hate it when I make a new level and I'm going to get ready to do the color underneath it, but then I go, oh, I missed something. I start adding bits of ink, and I'm already putting it on my color level, and that's no good. Like, oh my goodness. Merge selected layers. All right, so that way it puts that together. All right, and that's the sketching. I'm just going to change the name of that to sketch. You can't see what I'm doing because my fat face here is covering this part of the layering that I'm just kind of adjusting. I can't even spell the word sketch. Make that ink. Okay. Yeah, it's true. I do have to set some boundaries. I think that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm hoping people understand. They should. And I get it that I've got a lot of friends that are going through different things. I got one person in a hospital right now. Another friend is going through a really bad breakup, and different people are just going through a lot of different things, and you kind of want to try and be there. They want someone to talk to, and I kind of want to try and be there for people, but it's just when it ends up being a couple of hours on the phone. And all I'm doing is just listening, right? So but yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of lay it out from the beginning. I've told people, I'm kind of starting to tell people and saying, listen, I'm switching my phone off tomorrow, or I'm switching my phone off for these couple of days. You're not gonna be able to reach me, or maybe within a certain time frame, and I have to stick within that. So I can't I can't be on the phone for hours on end. Let's see here, broom. Yeah, it's true. You can't always be reachable. I do have, I work. I do have, look at y'all. I do have a job. That's I do have a part. So, when I'm at work, that seems to be acceptable for some reason. Hey, if I'm at my job, my physical job, that seems to be okay. But if I'm at home working on stuff, well, that's not, even if it's a commission, you can work around that. Yeah, Phil can work around that because, he's freelancing for something or he's doing something else. He's just at home. And it's like, no, you don't understand. Some things do take a bit of concentration. Some things, I can't sort of listen to you and do this at the same time. And because even people will be like, are you listening to me? What are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm trying to work on something. It's like, I can't. So I have to, you kind of have to be blunt at that point. But I don't know. It's I don't know. There's what's the word I'm looking for? It's Can I capture that same color? I think I did. Okay, yeah, I did. Because when you do finally have some time, like I want to go away this I want to eventually, that's what I had to do, tell him I have to go. I have another call coming through, which I actually did. But yeah, I have to do that. But there's, eventually, I want to take a couple of trips this year, and I want the freedom to be able to go do that. Like when I go, I can't be, I can't be answering calls while I'm away on vacation. And I also want to be able to go and feel like I've earned this vacation, like I'm putting in time into this sort of thing. And I'd like to think that that I've put in a certain amount of time into my life and my own work at home, and that now I can I've accomplished this, and this, and now I'm gonna go away on this vacation, and I'd like to feel like I've kind of earned that. So because when you haven't done anything, and I don't know about you, right? I don't know about anybody else, but if I haven't done, why is this keeps changing on me? If I haven't accomplished anything, then I feel like I haven't really earned that vacation. I'm going away on something and feeling like that's happened to me when I went to Montreal. I was like, I went to Montreal and feel like, okay, I need this trip, but I got so much to do at home, so many things I plan to do, but I'm not getting caught up on any of it. And it was kind of frustrating. I didn't really feel like I had earned the vacation yet. Like I still had things I needed to do, if that makes sense. And I don't want my trips to be like that. I want my trips to kind of be, I've worked on all this stuff. I did all this stuff for YouTube. I did all this stuff for myself. And okay, now I'm kind of ready to take this trip, and I can go and enjoy it and feel accomplished, feel like the break was earned. But I think, yeah. But I have to, like, I needed that trip to Montreal last year, and it was short. The only reason it was short was the hotel's really expensive. Otherwise, I'd have stayed a bit longer. So, but sort of wish I had. I think the first night I should have stayed with a like a hostel kind of thing. Even hostels have gone up in price. Good Lord. Some of the hostels, and I couldn't believe actually how much they were. This shading was supposed to be in a different layer. Let me just add that anyways. Yeah, that's true too. It's funny you mentioned that because I was kind of a little bit disappointed with the hotel room I had. I'd went with one that was cheaper, but it wasn't like, how should I put it? It wasn't like a cheap hotel room either. It was just one of the cheaper ones I could select. But I was really kind of disappointed with that. The bed was fine. The bed was comfortable. Just the bathroom was small. Like, I mean, really small. The room itself was really small. There was enough room for everything, but it just felt. I don't like that brown. That didn't work out right. It felt like it was at one time 2 separate rooms, and they cut them in half to make 2 separate smaller rooms, if that makes sense, to get more money out of it, maybe. I don't know, but that's what it felt like. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because, like I said, the bed was fine. Just I hate feeling like I'm cramped in a bathroom, though. I don't like having like super tiny bathrooms. I need a little bit of space. But this, I couldn't even turn sideways. The shower actually took up half the bathroom, and it was way too small. And I went through Orbitz. They listed this kind of deal, and then when it actually went through, the deal was kind of not exactly what they said it was, and I wasn't impressed. So I called them to ask about it, and yeah, it was just the way they kind of worded it. So I kind of don't trust Orbitz anymore for arranging for hotel rooms. I feel a little bit scammed. I don't know if that's maybe a normal thing or a regular thing, but I don't know. I felt a little bit taken by them there. I don't mind putting so much work into this. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be using this for. But anyways, I think I'm going to be wrapping up pretty soon. So yeah, keep an eye out for the Saturday show. I'll make an announcement on that. It's still going to be a little while. I have a few things I still have to do. I need a place to shoot the opening segment, and I need a space, like a wider space. And this is not big enough for what I need to do. So I'm trying to see if there's somewhere I can rent a space that's not terribly expensive. Toronto does have like shooting studios, and I might look into something like that, depending on what they charge. So I'm going to sleep with it. I don't know. It was supposed to be kind of an old rustic broom, but it's kind of not turning out quite as I already thought. Anyways, I don't know why I even went this far with this, but I don't know. I'll keep it. I'll use it for something, incorporate it into something else. But Um, please tell me that's not coming through. Muting for a moment. Okay, I turned the mute off. I'll explain in a minute. But I don't know why, but yeah. Some kind of Harry Potter broom or something. Which is broom. So yeah, I forget where I was. And my roommate was coming out. I had a strange experience this week. Have you ever watched a movie, like seen a movie years ago that you really, really enjoyed, and then you watched it again? It's like, hey, I haven't seen that in a long time, and then it was not what you remembered. When I was really young, there was a movie that came out in 1978 called Foul Play, and it's with Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase. Now, I'm not a big Chevy Chase fan. I've never been. I find him kind of irritating, actually. But the movie I thought was really funny, and I saw it on its television premiere. I was too young to see it in the theater because there were, too many naughty bits in it, and I was only 9 or 10 years old. And so I saw it on its TV premiere. Of course, it's edited for television, so the naughty bits are cut out, and it's probably cut down a bit for for commercials and that. It's 1980, so I saw this movie, but I thought it was hilarious. My folks and I, my mom and dad and I sat and we watched this all together, and we had a hoot and a holler watching this thing. And I've seen it. I'm sorry if you like him. He just never clicked with me. But I've seen it numerous times. It's funny because he's been in some movies I really like. Like I like Three Amigos and that, but I don't know. Yeah, so I watched. So I've seen the movie numerous times over the year, and it was always kind of a treat when I come across it and watch it. And I remember even watching, I think the last time I saw it was in 2006, 2007. And, watched it, didn't really think much of it. And I saw it was on, somebody uploaded it to YouTube. So, okay, I haven't seen this in ages. And I like the song at the beginning. It's a Barry Manilow song. I need to take a chance again. And I don't know. But anyways, so I watched this, and as the movie's going, I know you're supposed to use a sense of suspended disbelief when you watch a movie, but some things are just like, I'm having a hard time accepting that this is what people would do. There's somebody's murdered, and she's trying to tell people it's the whole thing that they're not going to believe her, and she's Goldie Hawn's kind of the ditzy blonde. It's the 70s, right? So of course they don't believe her. And Burgess Meredith plays her neighbor, who's absolutely hilarious. But they don't believe her, and the body disappears, and she's trying to tell somebody, and they don't believe her. And then there's parts that I'm watching this. Well, it's not so much a Mandela effect, because Mandela is where you see something one way, and then years later you're kind of seeing it different. I guess sort of, but I'm just fine. I just all of a sudden realized that all this stuff that's going on in this movie, like there's scenes that go totally off plot about something else. That was like that whole sequence didn't even need to be in this, and it was supposed to be a comedy. Now it's like that's kind of not funny. And then when it comes up to the end, it just the ending, you're like, I don't want to spoil the ending, but there's something at the very end that involves where the bad guy's killed, and another cop is killed, and there's a whole plot to assassinate the Pope. It's not a spoiler. That's kind of what the movie's about, and it's a comedy, but it's like a comedy Hitchcock style film, where involved in this thriller, and she unknowingly uncovers this plot, gets mixed up in the middle of it, and so when there's little red herrings and clues. There's something to do with an item that ends up not going anywhere, and that kind of thing, right? So, so I don't. But I don't. It's the weird thing is, it's still weirdly entertaining. I still kind of got a kick out of it in some cases, but it just was not what I remembered. Apparently, about 10, 15 years ago, they were going to do a remake with Matthew McConaughey at the time, who's now probably too old. But I don't know if that would have been a good thing or not. I think they'd probably ruin it either way. So I don't know. But the ending is in an opera. I don't know if somebody watches on a replay. I don't want to spoil too much. There's an ending at the opera, and it's the Pope is going to an opera, and it's a little bit like The Man Who Knew Too Much, a little bit in a way. And so there's a big shootout at the stage, and this thing is lowered as part of the set, which is a large ship, and there's some scaffolding, and the dead bodies are hanging off the scaffolding, and it's lowered, and everybody kind of pauses, but the Pope starts applauding, and everybody starts applauding. There's two bodies hanging off this. I'm thinking, that's really awkward. No, that's just kind of, no, you wouldn't do that. It just struck me as really bizarre. But I do too. I agree. For the most part, there's been very, very, very few that I could say, and I know there's been a couple, and I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know there's been one or two that I'm like, that I thought was acceptable, but for the most part, remakes are never any good, or never as good. I think King Kong was the last valiant attempt by Peter Jackson in 2005, which was okay. Still not as good as the original. But I remember one of my favorite horror movies or ghost stories from 1980 was The Fog. I always loved that movie, and then they did that remake in 2005 that was absolutely horrible. I was so angry. I thought maybe they're going to do a really good job with it, and I was all excited about it, and it was so terrible. So terrible. I was just like, what was that? Just completely kind of, yeah. So I don't know. When I hear they're going to do a remake of something or it's being remade, I'm like, no, I don't want to see it. So Hollywood needs to learn to come up with some original stuff again. Sequels, yeah, most sequels, unless it's something, I think it's something unless it's planned from the very beginning, or it's part of a longer story. That's about the only way they can do it. But when they just sort of randomly come out of nowhere to make, my boy, yeah. Yeah, I haven't. Very few sequels work very well. I can't think of any off the top of my head where I went, okay, the sequel is actually as good, if not better, than the original. I said, unless it's sort of planned ahead of time that this is where it's going to go, this is what it's going to do. Or if it's one large story, but they've got to break it up into parts. Like Dune Part 2 is coming out. I actually really enjoyed the first Dune. I know a lot of people felt it was boring and a snore fest, but maybe because I really enjoy that story and that kind of science fiction, I really enjoyed it. And the second part is coming out shortly, but that's one big story. They've just broken it up into separate parts. So that's one case where it's kind of acceptable. Right? Lord of the Rings was one big story. It's three books, but it is one big long entire story, and they had to make it into 3 different parts. So things like that, I can say that's acceptable. But I feel like I'm losing my voice. But yeah, don't don't revisit movies you haven't seen in 30 to 40 years. You'll probably be disappointed. I can't say that in all cases. There's this was just sort of a random case because it was this random, very little known film. It was really popular. I was talking about foul play, but it was really popular when it came out in the 70s and then kind of got forgotten over the years. But um, yeah, didn't see the new Dune. Yeah, it's I don't know, if you like science fiction, I don't mean like science fiction westerns like Star Wars that are just westerns in space. But if you like actual like science fiction, um, yeah, Harry Potter. Yeah, it's like separate parts. But Dune is actually really good. It's an interesting story. I kind of liked the original movie. I know it ended weirdly, and I know it didn't end. The ending was very different from the book, and that pissed a lot of people off, the original. But I liked the. I still kind of liked a lot of the visuals and that they did in the original, even though it was. You've seen the old Dune, yeah. I did. I love the score. God, I love the music to that film. But the remake, they didn't want to. They tried not to look at the original movie too much. They wanted to look at the original source material, the book, and see what they could make from the book without being too influenced by the original movie. Actually, there was also, because it was a movie. And it was also, I think, around 2000, they did a television series. It was apparently it was okay. It was much more accurate to the book, but still didn't really, it still didn't click with people. And then I think they did a follow-up called The Children of Dune, I think. I never saw them. I actually didn't see them, those versions, but I did. But yeah, I remember watching. I don't think I saw the original Dune in the theater. I think I saw it on VHS. We brought it home, but I really like the visuals to it. I really, I think they made a valiant attempt with the special effects and the way they could do it to the best they could possibly do it. In some of it was over the top, some of it was a little bit over carried away, but I still kind of liked it. I forgot I was going to put a little bit of detail in this. I think it is. Yeah, I always kind of thought about reading the book, but I'm not. It's hard for me. I hate to say this. I'm not a very good reader. I can read. Don't get me wrong. I actually read just fine. But when it's something really long, depending on what it is, it's hard for me to. It's hard for me to get into books, especially if stuff's really long and drawn out. Although weirdly, I read the Harry Potter books. I remember somebody giving me the first book, before they even announced the movie, and so I read it because everybody was kind of talking about it. So a friend of mine was reading, so I read it and I enjoyed it. It was an easy read. It was a kid's book, so it was an easy read. And then I thought, okay, I'll read the second one. And then the movie was coming out, and I thought, okay, I want to read these before the movie comes out, so I know what I'm getting. So that was sort of a rare exception that I actually managed to finish the books. Yeah, I'm like you. I can't get into novels. I think I've only read about, I can read magazine articles, and I can read information books, and I can read that kind of thing. But yeah, novels I can't really get into. And people have bought me novels before, and it was hard to keep my attention on these things. I don't know why. I don't know why I never clicked like that with me. And I did read there was a Clive Cussler book somebody gave me because they were making it into a movie. It was a movie with Matthew McConaughey. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it. The book was great. The movie was an awful representation of the book. That was one. I read the book. I think it was Mindhunter. They based the Netflix TV series on it, about the cop who developed the whole system of profiling criminals in order to get an idea of how to catch serial killers. which was fascinating and just absolutely disturbing at the same time. It was one of the most horrific things I've ever read, that imagery that I'll never get out of my head. And it was like seeing a bad car accident. You can't look away, but it's just, you'd read because it was so interesting in what he was doing. But some of the cases that he found are just so horrible. And I was doing security at the time. I was working in security, and I'm reading this stuff. I'm like, oh my Lord. So yeah, philosophy, reference, self-help. Yeah. I'm not a reader anymore. I can't. I read kind of just news and information on what I need. Nowadays, I don't know. I feel like I'm just at a point in my life that I'm just sort of in limbo on everything. But I don't. Yeah, it's weird. The process I find interesting, but some of the graphic details I could do without. But sometimes they have to put that in order for you to understand what's going on, and so it's really. I don't know. I don't think I could. They did make a Netflix series. This is another case with Netflix. They made a series that ran for 2 seasons called Mindhunter that was based on John. I can't think of his name. It was based on his life, loosely based on it, and apparently it was really popular. It was really good. I watched both seasons, and then Netflix canceled it because that's what Netflix does. Apparently, if a show is really popular for whatever reason, they cancel it. And I never been able to figure that nonsense out. So I don't know, but yeah, they a lot of people were still really angry about that. They want them to bring there was a petition to bring back the series, and so I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I don't know. I was going to do some floorboards with this, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm actually. I might actually end up calling it pretty soon, just because I'm not. I'm feeling a little bit better, but I haven't been feeling that great all night. I went out with a friend of mine, got a coffee, we chatted, and I'm kind of. I don't know. I'm not feeling kind of 100% tonight, and. Right there. So I might kind of call it here for the night. I just wanted this has just been me chit-chatting, and I've already, how long have I been on for? Oh, it's been almost an hour. I don't know. I I lost my breath there for a minute. Excuse me. Yeah, I've been pretty tired. I'm gonna call it for the night though, but I want to keep this a regular thing on Wednesdays and maybe start me planning a little bit better whether I have a guest on or not. I just haven't. I've been on the phone so much this week. I haven't had a chance to even plan anything. So, so this was meant to be short. I went actually about 25 minutes longer than I intended to. It was really just going to be a half an hour. So. But yeah, thanks for coming and chatting, though, Terry. I appreciate it. I know you had a stream recently, and I sort of saw it just as it was kind of coming to an end, so I ended up missing it. But yeah, next time if I see it, I'll try and pop in and say hello. So I'm going to call it for the night, but thanks for chatting, and I will see. I want to do something Saturday afternoon. I'm supposed to be going out Saturday evening, but we'll see. If I don't, then next Wednesday for sure, I'll have my regular Wednesday show. So thanks again, Terry. Have a good night. Much appreciated, and we'll see you and talk to you again soon. Good night, everyone.